wondered what life was like back in the Roaring Twenties, you can step back in time with Tulsa Chautauqua's Anything Goes America in the Roaring Twenties at the Tulsa Historical Society and Museum. Joining us this morning to give us the details are Ken Busby from Tulsa Chautauqua and Rebecca Jimerson, who portrays Bessie Smith. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I'm so happy to be in the presence of some greats here.
Oh, well, it's certainly with Bessie, we absolutely are, but we're just happy to be here. So thanks for having us.
Of course, of course. So let's start at the beginning. What is Tulsa Chautauqua?
It is the best living history program anywhere. It is the largest humanities program in the state, which is cool because we travel to several cities in addition to Tulsa. And it is a chance to learn about characters from history that are important for a variety of reasons in a first-person kind of narrative. So you're going to get to see them and experience them and chat with them as that character. And so you really get, there's no better way to learn history than with that kind of atmosphere that Chautauqua fosters.
Yeah, no, I love the living history element because it's almost like you're transported right back in time versus reading a book or things like that. So that takes us right to Bessie Smith over here.
Yes. Well, you know, Bessie Smith was the highest black entertainer, paid entertainer during 1920s. She was called the Empress of the Blues, and she was raw, authentic, and she lived it, and her music also as the blues, and she embodied that. And you know, the 1920s was very transformative, and she embodies that decade through her music and her life. And she was one of those that her songs would emulate how she felt. And the working people. She transcended racial barriers and performed for all audiences. And one of her famous songs, you know, St. Louis Blues. I hate to see the evening sun go down. I said I hate to see that evening sun go down, 'cause my baby, he done left this town. So I'll be singing a couple of her songs and so forth, but her life. History comes alive. That's what Chautauqua's all about.
Oh, I love that, and I think you're playing such a great person, a great historical figure. Now, why is it so important for the community to come out to these events?
Well, because it's such a chance, it's such a great way to learn about history and meet characters that they might have heard about but don't really know. But the best thing I think that we are able to offer is that we provide this free of charge to the public. So all of our workshops, all of the evening programs, you get to all for free at the Tulsa Historical Society and Museum. And I do want to give a shout out to the National Endowment for Humanities and Oklahoma Humanities because, you know, because of that funding we get for them that's in jeopardy now going forward with federal funding, and we just don't know about next year, but we've pooled our resources and we've got this year taken care of. But that's what things like that do, is providing this context and the funding to be able to make it free to the public. So you get all this at no cost.
Yeah, that's so important. That's more of a reason to come out and come check this out. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Of course, Tulsa Chautauqua, June 3rd through the 7th at Museum of Tulsa History, located at 2445 South Peoria Avenue in Tulsa. Workshops are at noon and 5:30. The evening performances are at 7. Visit tulsachautauqua.org to learn more information.